I'm Chandra Hallam, and this is Ways to Serve Wednesday with Chapel Hill. I'm here interviewing Cathy Phillips. Hi, Cathy. Can you tell us a little bit about the Titus ministry and how we've had to adapt during COVID?
We're doing it remotely. We've been able to do this with a laptop, and our technology group at Chapel Hill has hooked us up so that we can retrieve the phone calls that come into the church, and then we can just call people back. So that's been a blessing that we've been able to still keep in touch with people that we miss seeing people in person, but we can still at least do this remotely. Oftentimes we'll get phone calls from St. Vincent de Paul or the Lutheran Church, and we'll coordinate work together. If somebody has a particularly high bill or a rental due, oftentimes that takes coordination between 2 or 3 more agencies so that we can take care of that need.
Can you share with us a couple stories or circumstances that people who have reached out to Titus, what they're going through? What are the hardships that they're feeling? What are their lives like?
Yeah, it seems like now with the COVID virus and the economic closures and people being out of work, we have people that are new to having economic difficulties, and some who are having difficulty getting through the unemployment process. And recently, when I was in the office a couple of weeks ago, we had a young man who had lost his job, and he had become quite ill and was in the hospital when I spoke with him. And he was quite concerned about coming home from the hospital and having his utilities all turned off. And so we worked with his utilities, and through the Deacon's Fund, through the donations of people at Chapel Hill, we were able to pay his utility bills, so that took that load off of him. When he gets out of the hospital, he'll still have power and electricity and heat. I'm a retired nurse. I was able to help him a little bit with trying to negotiate his hospital bills, and gave him advice of who he talked to. We have a variety of different people in our Titus volunteers who have expertise in different areas that can help to counsel people. And we have lists of people and other agencies that we work with that we can refer people to for a variety of different needs.
Cathy, that's really neat to hear that the Titus volunteers are coming alongside these people and making a relational connection, and not just saying, well, here's this financial help, but really, talking through some of those hardships and those crises. That's really encouraging to hear that Titus is able to be there for people in this situation.
I know sometimes if I get a person who seems very interested in our church, but maybe hasn't been to a church for a while, sometimes what we like to do is we follow up with a card, invite them to Alpha, or maybe suggest if they might need some lay counseling, and or families that have small children, let them know about all of our different children's ministries. So we do try to connect people with the church and invite them in, as well as help take care of their financial need.
One of the things I heard through some of my connections with other community groups and some people working through the school district was that there's some Spanish-speaking families, particularly out on the Key Peninsula, but in our general community, that are seeking help and maybe are having some challenges navigating some of those resources. Is there any way that Chapel Hill can help out in this situation?
We get calls from communities and schools. And we had a brand new immigrant family who needed some assistance. And I speak very little Spanish, and most of the people in our Titus ministry don't speak Spanish, or not very much of it. That particular incident, we were lucky it was with community and schools, because the student was able to furnish us with a interpreter. So, and I think they're hesitant to come and ask for help. And when they do, it's difficult for us. It would be wonderful if we could have a few volunteers that speak Spanish. That maybe we might be able to be in contact with them, so that they could interpret and help us in Titus. That would be a really big help.
So, Cathy, how can Chapel Hill be praying for Titus ministry, the volunteers and the people we come in contact with?
We need prayer to make sure we're making connections with the people who need to be connected with, and also praying for people who are in a situation they've never found themselves in before, to just pray for them to reach out for help and not to wait so long that things pile up so badly that it's even more difficult to help them. And just pray for us to make connections with our ministry partners, and for us to find all the people that are in need would be a big help. And also maybe for somebody who speaks Spanish, or even if there's somebody who speaks Russian as well. We occasionally get Russian people too.
Okay, definitely. Well, we will be praying for Titus. We're so excited to have this ministry and to be able to offer that to our community. Thank you for leading the ministry and for volunteering, and just really offering that hope of Christ to people in our community who need help. Thanks.